So we will continue on with our reading of Revelation 13, one of the most important chapters in the Bible. It describes the conflict just before Christ returns, but it also gives historical context. And there is a need for historical context because one of the main actors is an ancient power that comes back to life. In verse 4, it says, "And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast." So when they worship the beast, they worship the dragon. "And they worship the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him?" This is almost a direct quote of the song in Exodus 15, where the children of Israel were celebrating God's deliverance and getting them through the Red Sea. So they're attributing the beast to the level of God here. And they are, as it said there earlier in the verse, they were worshiping the beast. And this is a global event. "And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given to him to continue 42 months. Now there is a principle that is an older principle that has kind of fallen out of favor, but that's that a day equals a year in Bible prophecy. Jesus used this technique in Luke 13, verses 32 through 34. He says that he's going to do miracles and wonders for 3 days. We know that Jesus did not just labor for 3 days. He labored for 3 years, 3.5 to be exact, but his ministry already started when he said that. You can also look at Ezekiel chapter 4, verses 6 through 8, and the experience of the children of Israel in Numbers 14, verses 32 through 34. So a day equaling a year. When this power got its strength and got it established as a church-state power, it was in 538 when the Ostrogoths were pushed out of Rome, and it continued all the way 1,260 years later, or 42 months, same thing, times 42 times 30 equals 1,260, a number that appears 7 times in the Bible. And in 1798, Napoleon sent his General Berthier to remove this figure from power. So it continued for 1,260 years. Notice he also is blasphemous power. He claims to have the power of God. He's also speaking great things, doesn't define what they are. And it says, "And he opened up his mouth in blasphemy against God." To blaspheme his name, he takes God's name. And his tabernacle, he claims that his place of worship is God's true place of worship. Remember, Jesus said his kingdom is not of this world, so we should not look on this world for God's official place of worship, even though we have places of worship. And he also blasphemed them that dwell in heaven, maybe by saying certain people are in heaven that aren't there, or blaspheming by saying that he has a connection with heaven that he does not have. Notice verse 7. "And it was given unto him to make war with the saints." Saints just mean followers of Christ, holy ones. "And to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations." He's going to have a global power. He had a very far-reaching power in his original state, but when he's resurrected, he's going to have an even greater power. Verse 8. "And all they that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world." So notice, the whole world's worshiping him, but there are some that do not, the ones who are written in the book of life. And these are going to be people that go against the grain of society. Are you willing to go against the popular norms in society? Are you willing to allow your convictions towards God and the proper worship of him to be the ruling factor in your life over the popular current of culture? Verse 9, he says, "If anyone has an ear, let him hear." You right now, more than likely, have an ear to hear what the Spirit is saying. And you know that there are probably things not right in the world and in your church. And it is up to you to decide whether you're going to listen to the Spirit or you're going to listen to man. Look at this. Verse 10, it says, "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints." So God's people had to endure while this power led people into captivity. We know that in the first many centuries of Christianity, the true worshipers were forced into caves. I have been there. I've been to the Waldensian caves. I've seen where they worshiped, how they had to hide from people in order to worship in truth and in spirit, like Christ commanded us to. You also have this down in Central Africa. People hid from the main church church so they could worship in truth. Notice, he that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. The sword is also representative of the authority of the powers that be, the authority of government. And this power is both a church-state power and claims political powers as well as religious powers. And that's how he killed, is through his political power. But he was also taken out with political power in 1798 by Napoleon. However, as we read earlier, his deadly wound is healed. So no matter what is going on, and we have it pretty good in most of the world right now, but others are not having a good time. Christians are being slaughtered in other parts of the world, especially not in the West, in other countries. But through prosperity or persecution, we must have patience and faith.